Good evening, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to the Rodney Thompson Middle School Town Hall. My name is Mike Archambault, and I'm the principal here at Thompson, and tonight I'm joined by my two assistant principals.
Hi, I'm Rose Averett.
Hi, I'm Jeff Howard.
We want to thank our community members who submitted such great questions tonight. We have lined up a panel of teachers and staff members to help us speak to the many topics that we'll be discussing, and without further ado, let us begin.
The superintendent's letter on August 7th stated that there will be 4 synchronous days of learning. Does this mean that the students will have live classes with their teachers each period on those 4 days?
Yes, synchronous learning will occur Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday for the various classes that students will take. Science and social studies classes will include synchronous learning all 4 days of the week. Students will take one of those classes in the first semester and the other class in the second semester. This is a change from previous years. The other classes, both math, English, and our elective classes, will alternate on an XY schedule all year. For example, a student may take math on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and they may take English on Wednesdays and Fridays. The same would be for band, PE, and our new elective courses. Ms. Averett has a visual that she will walk you through to better explain this process.
All right, here's a visual we hope will help you understand the schedules a bit more. Let's start with Tuesday. All students will meet face-to-face with all 4 of their teachers throughout the day. For this 7th grade student, they start with their English class from 10 to 11:10. This class goes a little bit longer. All first period classes will be longer. We are working in some social emotional check-ins with our students, an opportunity to unwind with their teachers and engage with their fellow peers. Block 2, this student will be heading off to science class. All students have lunch from 12:20 to 12:50, and then this 7th grade student, when they log back into their virtual class, they'll be in a PE class. And then finally, this student with their 4th block class of the day, they will end it with creative writing. The school day ends for our students at 3 o'clock. So from 3 to 3:30, students will have an opportunity to check in with all of their teachers. On Wednesday, for this sample 7th grade student, they start their classes, their first block class, with a Spanish 1A elective class. For block 2, this student will have another day of science. Their lunch period is the same. 3rd block, instead of PE, the student will have band. And 4th block, the student ends their day with math. And again, the end of the day, having an opportunity to check in with some teachers if they need more help or guidance. And again, if you look at our schedules, Thursday is a repeat of Tuesday classes. Those are our X days. Those classes on those days are exactly the same. And then Friday is the Y day class, and it pairs along with Wednesday. So if you take a look at your students' Tuesday through Friday schedule, you can see the repeating classes. I want to direct your attention to science. Science is a class that, science and our history classes, depending on which one your student gets for this semester, they will meet with those teachers every day for the entire semester and then switch over. In this student's case, they had a science class. Semester 2, they'll go ahead and, for 7th grade, have their civics class. And again, I also want to point out the light orange for the amount of elective classes that our students have as well. And finally, let's talk about Monday. On Mondays, our teachers are creating some office hours that match up closely with block 1 through 4. And those will be opportunities for our students to log into a virtual meeting and get some one-on-one help with our teachers. All right, so let's take a moment and talk about the student schedule throughout the school year. So each class is either daily or an alternating class, and then each class is going to be either semester or year-long class. So if we take a look here, in our previous example of that 7th grade student, they had a science class that met daily. Those science and the history classes will meet daily, but they are only for the semester, and then at semester 2, they switch out to the other class. We have another interesting class here. We have a Math 7X class for 6th graders. Those students will also meet in those classes daily, but their class will run all year long. The reason for that, as a reminder, those sixth grade students are learning three grade levels of math, and so they really are going to benefit from a year-long class that meets daily. If you take a look here, English, math, our Read 180 Lexia Knowing Math classes, our foreign language classes, health and PE are music classes. All of those classes there, they will be XY alternating day. So they'll either be on the Tuesdays and Thursdays or the Wednesdays and Fridays, but those classes will go all year long as well. Okay, so they are here. Those are those classes. All the other electives, those new electives, even the keyboarding tech ed classes, those electives here, those alternate every day, XY days, and those classes, they'll only last for a semester long. Although I understand that we are starting virtually, if we chose the hybrid option, will our students be put in classes with other hybrid students with the hope that they may be able to return to school this year?
Earlier this summer, our families indicated on a survey whether they preferred a hybrid or virtual start to the school year for their students. Since that time, the school board has adopted a full virtual start for all students for the first semester. Because of that change, we have abandoned separating our students based on the hybrid or virtual preferences our families indicated. We will survey our families again later this fall as we get closer to the second semester.
Relatedly, I had heard that for hybrid students, if they returned to school, they would be grouped according to their math level, at least at sixth grade, and stay put for their other core classes, and teachers would come to them in order to reduce movement in the hallways in between classes. Is that how the courses will work if we go to a hybrid schedule?
In anticipation of a hybrid or full in-person return for semester 2, we have continued scheduling with the students' A group and B group designations in mind. The goal for this is that if we do have to return in a hybrid setting, half of the students would be able to come in as part of the A group days, Tuesday and Wednesday, and the other half would be able to come in as part of the B group days, Thursday and Friday. This would limit the number of students in the building and help us ease the congestion in the hallways and better help safe transitions as students have to move to and from class.
When will student schedules come out?
Student schedules will become available in both the Parent View and Student View apps no later than Monday, August 24th. Paper copies of the schedule may be picked up at next week's Chromebook pickup events.
Will they include the specific times that need to be online for face-to-face virtual instruction so that parents can schedule work accordingly?
The specific times that students need to be logged in for their synchronous learning each day were referenced in a previous slide with Ms. Averett. In essence, the school day starts at 10 a.m. for period 1, and that includes a 70-minute block, 60 minutes for instruction, and 10 minutes for a social emotional wellness check. There are 4 blocks total each day. There is a 30-minute lunch. The academic day runs from 10 to 3:30, and a more detailed explanation of this can be found on our school website.
How will attendance be taken?
Student attendance will be taken in 2 ways. During synchronous learning, the face-to-face virtual instruction with the teacher will collect attendance in the traditional roll call type method. For asynchronous days or students who cannot attend a synchronous session but still log into Canvas and complete the work that day, they will be marked completed and present for their attendance purposes during our reconciliation of attendance each Friday.
What electives are being offered? In addition to the standard electives that have been offered in our middle school schedule, such as band, chorus, orchestra, theater, computer keyboarding, tech ed, and family consumer sciences, the new electives we incorporated into our RTMS schedule includes the following lists for each grade level that you see here. The common colors note which electives are offered similarly at each grade level. There may be some classes where 6th and 7th grade students share an elective class and other classes where 7th and 8th grade students share a class, but we do not have any classes where 6th and 8th graders share a class. A full description of each of those courses can be found on the SCPS site searching for Middle School Program of Studies. Will extracurriculars be offered virtually like ACT classes?
For those families new to RTMS prior to COVID-19, our school offered students a half-hour block of time during our daily block schedule in which they could take some enrichment classes that were created by our teachers. We called this ACT time. The new electives being offered to students will offer them even more opportunities for enrichment that go beyond a half-hour span. Most students will end up taking 3 elective classes along with their PE class for the semester. This schedule also allows our teachers to provide additional English and math help in lieu of 1 or 2 of their elective classes.
Will students take SOLs this year?
There will be SOL testing this year. Our students who will have Science 8 or Civics 7 during semester 1 will take their SOL test in January. We will receive more details in regards to the logistics of how that process is going to pan out as we get closer to that time frame. So students taking Science 8 or Civics 7 during semester 2, along with other year-long SOL content classes such as English and math, will take their SOL test later in the spring of this school year. Again, more details will follow and we will share those out as soon as we are made aware.
What about my son who has an IEP? He will need face-to-face learning.
I want to thank you for that question. My name is Jeff Howard. I am the designee for Student Services here at Rodney Thompson Middle School. Our students with individual education plans and 504 plans each have a case manager or plan manager who will be reaching out to the parent and students to discuss how those plans can be implemented in a virtual or hybrid model. In some cases, the goals and accommodations may need to be adapted to fit different environments. Face-to-face instruction would of course benefit all students. However, this ever-changing health crisis has led us as a school division to deem face-to-face instruction to be the least safe environment at this time. As a result, the majority of students will continue to receive their services in a virtual format. Luckily, in our new schedule, students do have built-in time to connect with teachers on Mondays and during teacher office hours. Finally, there may be a need to adapt a plan to have certain students who would be unable to work on their goals in any other setting meet face-to-face. However, that would be an exception to the rule, and we would have to discuss that on a case-by-case basis. I do want you to know, however, that regardless of the setting, know that our staff will continue to provide you with the best services and support that we can, and we stand ready to chat with you about any concerns that you may have.
Will students be able to play an instrument for band during the virtual semester?
Hi, my name is Mr. Cardwell and I'm one of the band directors here at Rodney Thompson Middle School. Even though our instruction is going to look a little bit different this fall for our band, orchestra, and chorus classes, we are still going to offer opportunities for our students to practice performing on their instrument or starting a new instrument if they're in 6th grade.
Will they get live interactive class time with their teachers or only pre-recorded videos and mostly on your own work?
Hi, I'm Mr. Van, lead science teacher at Rodney Thompson Middle School. Students will interact face-to-face virtually with their teachers for all of their classes. Students will get direct live instruction Tuesday through Friday. There will also be discussions, assignments, and other independent activities through the Canvas platform. On Mondays, students will have the opportunity to check in with their teachers during set office hours.
How much live time on Google Meets or another platform with each of their teachers will my child get each week?
There will be 10 to 20 minutes of direct face-to-face instruction for every class. The teacher will remain live in the Meet for the remainder of the block.
Will the live times be recorded in case they can't attend during the live time?
The direct face-to-face instruction will be recorded and available in Canvas for absent students.
Will any of the courses have teachers who require group work with other students? I'm wondering only because of the potential challenges of coordinating with other students in this virtual format.
Yes, it is very possible that some courses require group work. The platforms that will be used allow students the opportunity to collaborate and communicate. If communication is a concern, teachers will be flexible.
How will tests and exams in the various subjects be given?
Hi Thompson families, my name is Caitlin McClung and I'm this year's math coach here at Rodney Thompson, and we're so excited for a new year. For this year, our assessing and checking for student learning of the content is going to look very different this year. Our teachers will work together to be creative and diligent with how we present students with questions and tasks that showcase their knowledge. This is definitely a work in progress for our teachers. We are learning how to work with our new tech tools that we have available to us and continually remember that we are here to support our children's learning. The focus of any assessment is to gauge how much learning is really occurring for your student, and our teachers will continuously fine-tune their assessments as the year progresses in order to give our families the most effective feedback about their learning.
The welcome email stated that there will be a live in-person open house for new 6th grade students. Will students be able to meet their teachers during this open house in person?
Good evening, I'm Diana Smithy, lead counselor at Rodney Thompson Middle School. That's true. The original plan was to have a live in-person open house. However, the most recent decision by the division was not to have a live in-person open house. Students will be able to visually meet their teachers through their daily learning sessions using the camera feature within Google Meetings. Also, teachers are expected to reach out to their students as well.
My daughter is a rising 6th grader and is excited to get connected to RTMS since we are new to the community. What are some ways that she can get connected and build community during the virtual semester?
To help build our RTMS student community, our counseling department is working to send out a student survey within the next couple of weeks to get feedback as to student needs and interests. Once that information is received, we will work as a team to address the topics and create Google Meetings to have students come together to share their common interest within a virtual club. We also, on a larger scale, we're going to have to try to implement all the active counseling, library, PTO, and JHS programs on a virtual platform.
How will recognitions be done for honor roll?
Recognition of student achievement is essential. For the upcoming school year, our counselors will continue with honoring and announcing AB Honor Roll students within our website and other social media platforms.
Good evening. My child is entering 6th grade and she was completing testing for the Focus program last year. Due to the pandemic, she was unable to complete all of the testing requirements while in 5th grade. Will she have an opportunity to complete her Focus testing virtually or by video conference?
I'm Scott Trotta, the Focus teacher here at Thompson Middle School, so I'll be providing gifted services for your students. You all have a lot of great questions this evening, so I'm going to try to attend to all of them. I do have some prepared answers, so pardon me if I look down from time to time. I'm just going to try to make sure that I've answered all your questions thoroughly and fully. First excellent question was to how are we going to bridge the gap from where we left off last year in terms of Focus referrals and identification and eligibility. Elementary students and other middle school students who began the process in the spring will certainly have an opportunity to complete their Focus eligibility here in the fall. As far as elementary students are concerned, I intend to work together with families of the elementary and the elementary Focus teachers to see that students are able to conclude the process during September. This will happen similarly with Focus students or referral students who are going through the process in middle school in the spring. The majority of the process for elementary school students will be executed at the elementary school. As the elementary teachers and Focus teacher know the most about the student, they will play a major role in eligibility. Please expect to hear from me and or the elementary Focus teacher shortly after the beginning of the school year with regard to the nature of completing the process And as far as middle school students who are undergoing the process, you'll hear from me shortly via an email to the parents and students.
What will focus services look like at the 6th grade level with the virtual start to the school year?
A second awesome question that was delivered from many parents is going to be as to how focus services will be delivered and what they'll look like for 6th grade and the rest of the middle school students. So I wanted to make sure that I spoke to how focus services will be delivered in each grade level. Many of you who are 7th and 8th grade returning students know that we've had a lot of opportunities in the past that may not be possible in the virtual world, but not to worry, we're still going to provide excellent services for your students here at school. First and foremost, I'm going to work with all the students' PLCs, which would be their content areas, to provide extensions and enrichment opportunities within the classroom. That doesn't mean that the teachers are going to be making your students do more work. However, it's going to be my job to work with them to provide more complex assignments and opportunities designed to meet the higher level thought operations within each and increase the depth of knowledge. We try to refer to that as increasing the level of intellectual demand. Second, I'll work with our students and monitor and communicate with you as parents regarding our students' progress in the regular classroom from time to time or when necessary, and make sure that I'm here to provide emotional support for our students throughout this time period. Third, I want to provide services through an asynchronous and asynchronous manner with units specifically designed for our identified students and our referred students to the identification process, and those will be accessed via my Canvas page specifically for focus students. As well as other independent study opportunities, I'll have an asynchronous unit up there that can be done to help our students learn more about themselves as learners and increase their ability to access their education and meet their learning potential. Fourth, I hope to provide a minimum of 5 hours a week of office hours to our parents and students. Typically, those are going to take place between the hours of 9:30 and 10 o'clock in the morning and 3 and 3:30 in the afternoon. I will continue to identify and evaluate our new referrals to the Focus program. For those who have already gotten in touch with me throughout the summer, look for me to be in touch with you throughout the first week of school so that we can set up a meeting to discuss how the referral process works. I'll also provide professional development for our teachers here at school on the avenues of compacting the curriculum, extending the curriculum, using multiple menu options as well as the identification criteria and process. And finally, I will continue to keep you informed of any opportunities that arise to challenge our students and to help our students challenge themselves, and once again, to accelerate their learning experiences and meet their potential.
What opportunities will be offered for the Focus and National Junior Honor Society students?
The last question posed here refers to opportunities offered for Focus and NJHS students. In the previous question, I mentioned a whole lot about Focus services, but I do want you to understand that I'm going to continue to seek opportunities for our Focus and highly motivated students within the building to compete and take part in special projects available to us in the virtual setting. As the year progresses, I will continue to work to identify opportunities for our students to be involved in outside of the school opportunities that are designed to challenge them, however, in a safe and collaborative environment. And we'll collaborate with our staff to implement as many possibilities as possible. As far as NJHS is concerned, we're proud that we've had so many students apply last year and be accepted into NJHS. Our newly accepted NJHS students will be inducted into the National Junior Honor Society by participating in our NJHS virtual induction to take place the third week of school. More information will come out through the email by the end of the week that will detail how this process of induction will work and how to run for officer positions, as well as tips and ideas to participate in our in-person and virtual community service opportunities. We do hope that our NJHS accepted members participate in our virtual induction, so please look for that information to come out later on tonight or early tomorrow morning via the email. And then next week you can pick up your certificates in a print version of the all-in-one NJHS induction package for the year next week when you pick up your school materials, textbooks, Chromebooks, and so on. Thank you so much for listening. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. Thank you.
Will parents have access to Canvas to ensure their child is completing assignments?
Yes, there's a Canvas Parent app that will be accessible to you via an observer code that your student will share once they begin their Canvas classes. This video will show all the ways you will have access to viewing assignments, grades, and easily emailing your child's teacher.
Meet Amy Pandison. Amy has 2 kids, Tucker and Jane. Tucker is in the 8th grade and loves world history. Jane is in the 3rd grade and enjoys science projects. Their school uses Canvas to facilitate student learning. Amy wants to be involved in her kids' education, not to do it for them, but to help them be successful and build confidence as learners. Amy wants to check their grades, view assignment due dates and the instructions, follow Amy and Tucker's calendars, and communicate easily with teachers. Amy hears about the Canvas Parent app in an email from the school. Both kids' teachers use Canvas and want to make sure parents can easily stay connected. Amy searches for Canvas Parent in the App Store for her mobile device. After it downloads, Amy searches for her school district in the search bar. When she finds it, she then sees the option to sign in. Amy does not have her own Canvas account yet, so she selects Parents of a Canvas User, Create Account. She enters her name, her email address, and creates a password, but does not have a student pairing code. Tucker creates a pairing code from his account by opening his account settings from the global navigation bar. He selects Pair with Observer and gives that code to Amy. She can now see Tucker's classes and grades on the app's home screen. Jane is still in elementary school, so Amy gets her pairing code from Jane's teacher and easily adds it on the app. Now Jane is all set up with the Canvas Parent app as her sidekick in supporting her kids' education. To make sure she stays up to date on both kids' accounts, Jane sets up her alerts and notifications. On her phone or tablet, Amy selects Manage Students and then selects Tucker. She sets her preferences on when and about what she would like Canvas to alert her. She does the same for Jane. As Amy finishes choosing her notification settings, Jane comes bounding into the house without the coat she was wearing when she left for school. On the app, Amy opens her inbox, selects Jane's class, and sends a quick message to Jane's teacher about the missing coat. That night, before sitting down to dinner, Amy checks Tucker's classes and grades. He's doing pretty well. She also checks the calendar and notices that Tucker has a test coming up in a few days, and then helps Tucker organize his notes and create a study plan after dinner. She notices in her alerts section an announcement about a field trip to the local museum for Tucker's world history class, and a request for volunteer parent chaperones. Amy sends a quick message through the Canvas inbox to volunteer as a chaperone. Amy glances at the calendar and notices that Jane has a science project coming up. She looks at the assignment and notices a list of supplies and instructions for how to submit the assignment. Amy sets a reminder to buy the supplies. That night, Jane sits at the computer with Amy and they make a plan for Jane's project. Later that week, Amy helps Jane finish the project and helps her submit before the due date. After a long week of extracurricular activities, Amy sees a notification on her Canvas Parent app about a missing assignment in one of Tucker's classes. She reads the instructions posted on Canvas and asks Tucker how she can help him complete the assignment. That night, Amy sits with Tucker and helps him upload a picture to submit his assignment. Even though the assignment is still flagged as late and Tucker lost some points, it's still turned in for grading. Like Amy Pandison, you can also support your students' learning and know what's going on in their academic lives. You can download it for free in your app store. You can also log on to Canvas as an observer through your web browser. Also, check out the Canvas guides for observers in the Canvas community.
Will grades still be posted in Student View and Parent View, or will students and parents monitor assignments and grades through Canvas instead?
Grades in Canvas will be linked to our Synergy grading system.
If we have a laptop at home for our student, can we refuse the Chromebook?
Hi, I'm Andrew Mack. I'm the computer technician at Rodney Thompson Middle School. If you have a personal laptop or desktop computer at home that you would like to use instead of the school-provided Chromebook, you are more than welcome to refuse the school-provided Chromebook. Please do note, if you refuse the school Chromebook and something goes wrong with your personal device, we will not be able to work on your device the same way we would be able to on the school-provided Chromebook, though.
What happens if we accept the Chromebook and it gets damaged while it's in our care?
If you accept a school-provided Chromebook and it ends up damaged while it's in your care, you can bring it back into the school and return it in exchange for another Chromebook. If we believe that the damage to the Chromebook was intentional, there may be a charge associated with the exchange.
What can you do to help a parent that is having email and technical issues?
If you are having any technology issues, please email the email address shown on the screen, which is helpdesk@staffordschools.net. This address is constantly monitored by computer technicians throughout the county who will get your technology help request into the right hands so that we can solve your problem as quickly as possible.
For students and staff who do enter the building, can you give a quick summary of the types of health and safety steps that have been put in place to slow the spread of COVID-19?
Hi, my name is Nancy Daly. I'm the school nurse here at Rodney Thompson Middle School, and I'm here to answer a couple of health-related questions due to COVID-19. I'm here to reassure you that Stafford County Public Schools and Rodney Thompson Middle School are doing their best to ensure that everyone stays safe and healthy this school year. Everyone's safety is our priority. Stafford County Public Schools has put several methods in place throughout the school system to safeguard everyone's health. Everyone, to include staff, students, and visitors, are required to wear face masks, face coverings, unless there is a legitimate reason that they are unable to do so. In that case, alternative methods such as clear face shield, a plastic face shield, is acceptable. In addition, prior to entering the building, students, staff, and visitors will have their temperatures taken and will answer a screening questionnaire. If at all possible, visitors should always have a prearranged appointment. Any temperature of 100.4 would indicate a symptom, or a yes answer on the building questionnaire is denied access to the building and asked to reschedule their appointment at a later time. Parents should take their child's temperature prior to coming to school. Again, 100.4 or higher, and or a complaint of your student not feeling well, the child should be kept home to monitor their symptoms and see their physician if symptoms do not improve or worsen. Other safety measures in place are as follows. There will be signage, and there is now signage throughout the building encouraging 6 feet distancing, again wearing face covers to encourage wearing face coverings, proper way to cough, sneeze. There'll be no sharing of items. These are all on the signs. No touching of your face, and using hand sanitizer and proper hand washing techniques. Hand sanitizing stations have been strategically placed throughout the building and in classrooms. To promote social distancing, hallways have been divided in half, and there is additional signage indicating one-way direction. In addition, stairwells have also been made one-way. Use of public water fountains is not advised at this time, and they have been turned off. So students are encouraged to bring water bottles. We encourage students to stay hydrated throughout the school day. In addition, Air purifiers will be placed in certain areas to include the clinic. During hybrid learning, students will eat in their classroom. Lunch orders will be taken and placed on Google Docs, and lunch will be delivered to the classroom by school personnel. Classrooms in our school have already been set up with 6 feet distancing in place between the desks. Now, cleaning. Janitorial staff will be working to ensure that frequently touched surfaces are cleaned and disinfected on a regular basis per protocol. Electrostatic cleaning will occur every Wednesday and Friday throughout the school year. And I just want to take time to mention flu shots. Flu shots are encouraged every year, but particularly this year, because symptoms of the flu and COVID-19 are very similar, so protection against the flu is even more important this year. Please note that whether your child is coming to school or is virtual, doctor's orders for any condition requiring care or accommodations, such as diabetes, seizures, anaphylaxis, allergies, etc., or medication at school, students requiring medication at school, should be turned in at the start of the school year into the clinic. Having these orders in place at the start of school ensures that your virtual learners should transition to hybrid learning, that these doctor's orders are in place for a better transition. You may choose to wait to bring any medications to school until we transition to hybrid. Any questions that you may have about any of this information, please feel free to call me at the school at 540-658-6420 or email me at dailyn@staffordschools.net, and I'll be very happy to speak with you in person.
Since semester 1 is all virtual, do students still need TDAP and other health requirements?
Code of Virginia requires that children receive a comprehensive physical examination within 12 months prior to start of school and before entering kindergarten and elementary, and that children are adequately immunized. Other required immunizations include HPV for girls entering the 6th grade, they may opt out of, and the TDAP booster for entry into the 7th grade. If students in grade 6 through 12 have lived outside of the United States for 3 or more consecutive months, then they too must have a physical examination. These requirements have not been waived, and families are encouraged to make appointments with their pediatricians and healthcare providers. So please check your students' immunizations, make sure they're up to date.
And that concludes this evening's presentation. Thank you for your questions, and please do stay in touch.